Hello and welcome to the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. Today is Friday, May 19th, 2023. And the great news is that we once again have closed above $1 a share. Now, I realize that I haven't really been getting too into the specifics of where we are closing, right? Whether it's, 5 something, 6 something. Like right now, all that really matters is that we achieve a minimum bid price of at least $1 a share for 10 consecutive business days so as to come back into compliance with NASDAQ listing requirements. That's really, really important. I think we'd all agree that we'd like to see shares of SDIG continue to trade on the NASDAQ stock exchange. So until we get through this part of the process, all I care about is above $1 a share. Not so concerned about where exactly above $1 a share. Once we get past this 10 consecutive business days, then we can maybe dive a bit deeper into what's kind of going on with the stock price, where it's at, where it might be going next. Okay, a couple of developments. These are more like macro issues that might have the potential to impact Bitcoin. So in the United States of America, and I say that only because we have somewhat of an international audience here, there are some fiscal issues, right, related to money, revenue, debt, and how the government manages all of those things. And right now, there's a very sort of challenging negotiation taking place, whereby, in simple terms, a determination has to be made as to whether or not to, go further into debt so as to be able to continue to function as a government, right? A lot of governments run into this. What might be a little bit unique to the United States government is that there is a so-called debt ceiling above which presumably no additional, in other words, the debt cannot, I guess, presumably rise above that debt ceiling. So there's a debate taking place domestically as it relates to that debt ceiling. Now, the reason why this is relevant for Bitcoin, potentially, is because were the United States to, for whatever reason, go into a period of time, maybe it's a couple of days, a weekend, maybe a week, whereby one can arguably say, hey, like a technical default has taken place, aside from the, I guess, reverberations, right, to the global economy that may or may not transpire. Some news outlets seem to suggest it would really be a big deal. Maybe it would be. Maybe it wouldn't be. Again, it's very challenging, I think, in some ways to predict the outcome of something that hasn't necessarily ever really occurred. Now, Bitcoin has the potential to be very sensitive to these developments. So that's the only reason I'm bringing this up, okay? What takes place with government budgets or whatnot is above my pay grade and certainly not directly germane to the topic of Stronghold Digital Mining, except for the fact that one of our key critical, really important revenue inputs happens to be the price of Bitcoin in conjunction with the network hash rate. And of course, the other is grid prices, right? Electricity grid prices in, the zones of the PJM grid where we have our power plants. So anything that has the potential to move the price of Bitcoin, I think is very relevant to our interests as a company. So over the next maybe week, 2 weeks or so, this has the potential to be a catalyst of sorts for the price of Bitcoin if all of a sudden there's a sort of an awakening to the potential, the reality maybe even, that the United States government is going to default on its debt, or however you'd like to phrase that, be it a technical default, maybe it's a weekend, maybe a couple of payments don't quite go through, but then everything's resolved. However that plays out, it has the potential to draw some attention to Bitcoin and some of the benefits of Bitcoin. And of course, if that results in the price of Bitcoin going up a bit, well, that's really good news, not only for Stronghold Digital Mining, but of course, the entire Bitcoin mining ecosystem. So I think as we go into next week, that's something that we're certainly going to want to keep our eyes on. I also want to provide a brief update with regard to some of the things I talked about yesterday regarding our roughly 1 exahash of end-to-end data center infrastructure. Some really great research and commentary has taken place on Twitter. So again, if you go into the description of this video, there's a link to my Twitter page. Check out some of the responses and some of the individuals who participate in our community there. Follow them, check them out. I mean, there's some really, really great, insightful commentary in there. And so this research is ongoing. Somebody asked, hey, why not just pick up the phone and make inquiries directly to the company? Hey, like what specifically is going on? Who are you negotiating with? I think there's a line beyond which I'm not comfortable crossing. I don't want to give any even whiff of the potential of trafficking in material non-public information. I think all of the research we're doing collectively together as a community based on what's observable, right? Based on what's researchable, I think that's plenty. And it's a really fun challenge, actually, to kind of like figure things out, reverse engineer what's going on, listen to, earnings calls, pick apart certain key phrases, and then, just take a look at the reality on the ground at these power plants, for example, to sort of reverse engineer or deduce what's going on and what might happen next. To me, that's plenty fun. And I'd rather not inadvertently, stumble over into a realm where suddenly we're dealing with material non-public information. That wouldn't be so cool. At least I'm not comfortable with that at all. So that's my answer to that. I'm really excited about next week for a variety of reasons. I think, hey, if we can keep this momentum going with our stock price staying above $1 a share, we're kind of in the home stretch then to hopefully, again, no guarantees, but hopefully we could get past this, this stock price drama, which we've been focusing on so much, and really, truly, more fully get back into operations, which I've already started doing, and which I find to be ultimately the most important thing. Because look, if we take care of operations, operations will take care of us, right? So let's stay positive, let's be great, have a phenomenal weekend, and I'll see you back here again on Monday.